Hello and welcome to the... that's what happened to me yet. Hello and welcome to the most underrated show on the internet.
We're What's with the Lemon, and I hurt my pinky today, Joe.
So this was hilarious to me because you hurt your pinky. You texted
I hurt it real
me.
good, man.
As soon as you texted me, I hurt my pinky, or you hurt my finger. I hurt my finger really bad. I got so excited because I was like, "Oh my god, this will be great for the podcast." And then I was stopped for like 10 seconds. I was like, I should maybe see if he's okay first.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
I know.
That's messed up.
But are you okay?
Oh,
It doesn't look good.
No, I mean
It doesn't look like it's not like your fingernails falling off or anything like that.
I didn't crunch my nail. I crunched the pinky.
What appliance was it on?
A fridge.
Oh, okay. I would
Going up a split level.
Were you bottom or top?
Top.
Oh.
So,
how did you?
So, you know, on split levels, how they have like the corner wall there.
Oh.
Had my hands on my side.
For anyone that doesn't know, every delivery and install person hates split levels.
Yeah,
they're the worst.
They're the worst house ever. I think anybody who's moved into a split level also knows that they're the worst house ever.
Probably.
But for appliance installation, they're really terrible, especially with fridges. Now, it was fine. It was actually a really easy fridge because it was just the top bottom.
Oh, nice. But that means it was probably smaller.
It was an Insignia. Yeah, so we go up and we walk up the staircase, and like a rookie had my fingers on the side of the unit to stabilize it.
You had to...
To be honest, I really didn't notice the wall.
Oh,
so
no.
It was at the end of the day too, kind of later. And as we're going up back straight, you know, as you gotta go, you gotta keep your back straight. And I crunched my finger and I instantly dropped because it hurts.
Yeah.
So I like bend over and Ray's just like, what happened?
Did you scream?
Nope. Just because totally
the client
quiet.
was probably right
client
there.
was there. So I just kind of, no, not even that. I just was just like, like I just did that. I actually didn't make any noise. Ray didn't know I was hurt. He just knew that I dropped.
He just knew his flat. His
and
life flashed before
then I
his
straightened
eyes.
back up and got it up there. But I was like,
Was it side down, side down, side down?
No, I got it to where it needed to go.
Okay.
I'm at that stage in my career, Joe, where I think the only thing that would stop me from doing something is like, oh, there's an artery.
I was about to say, you could get stabbed in the side and you'd be like, let's just get it to the spot first.
Just get it where it needs to go, then get it out.
That sucks, dude. I'm sorry.
But, I mean, I've crunched my fingers worse than this, so
yes.
This is not the worst one.
Didn't you almost rip your ring finger off?
Yeah.
That's why you do a band now?
I've actually been wearing my ring yet.
You are a madman.
Because I'm usually really good about it, but not this time.
No.
Not this time.
Yeah.
No, it hurt really bad.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, dude, tell me something.
I've been wanting to tell you this for a few days.
Save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod. But before I tell you, it needs a little bit of a introduction. I have been having not great dreams the past few months. So I've been talking to like my L&I counselor or something like that. And what he wanted me to do is when I wake up from having one of these dreams, write it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then look at it or read it out loud to realize that it's a dream, it's kind of ridiculous, and how I would change the dream.
Okay.
And so I've been writing down some dreams lately. None of them I will share on said podcast because they're not great dreams. But, however, hear me out. But I woke up the other day from a ridiculous dream.
Oh.
And my default brain said, I have to write this down now. And so I'm not going to say the whole dream, but this idea.
Okay.
I have two ideas.
From the dream.
From the dream that I want your opinion on.
Okay. Do you want my opinion to tell you if they're absolutely wild and crazy and should not be?
No, I want to know what you would do.
In this situation.
In this situation.
Okay.
And then I have a secondary question.
Okay.
The first situation, and this will kind of give away what my dream was. If you had to help an animal through the entire baby making process, what animal would you pick to help? What? From birthing it, or the deed of making it, birthing it, feeding it.
Yeah.
What animal would you choose?
Wait, are you saying like you are birthing the
No,
animal?
you have to
Or
help
helping
the
the
two
animal?
other. You have to help the two animals mate. Then you have to help deliver said baby. Would you like to know what animals I had to help in
your
my dream?
Yes, Joe.
Giraffes.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not a big giraffe guy either.
No, you're not a big giraffe guy.
Giraffes are heavy.
Oh my God. I think the easiest answer would be like dogs.
What kind of dog?
Because I think it would be funny, probably pugs.
I'm so glad you said pugs. Dogs are. I was kind of hoping a little bit more of a. It was a very strange dream.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, that'd be pretty wild. I've never had a dream like that.
Follow up. I actually have 2 follow up questions. Why are we not more upset when things mate on us?
Mate on us?
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe,
Uh-huh.
I know you've had this dream.
Yeah. I was not under the giraffes. Let's make that clear.
You got to get the clarification, but here's what I was going to ask. You're thinking of like bugs, right? Because it's usually bugs.
Yes.
It's not usually other animals.
Dogs can hump your leg.
But they're not mating on you.
But why aren't we more upset when bugs mate on us? I'm just like, shoot, get off of me.
I kill them.
Okay.
But I'm a bug murderer.
You're a bug murderer. So if you can get 2 for 1, and then the thought of, I just killed 100 of you.
Yeah, because now
who knows how much? I don't know what kind of bugs mate, how they do it.
I mean, I always assume when they're stuck together, that's when when it's happening. I'm pretty sure it's when it's like one's on top of the other. Got it.
Last question about my dreams.
Okay.
Because I think this is true.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're going to believe it or not.
Okay.
I think it's true. Do you think animals have fetishes about humans?
Oh my God, Joe.
Like,
you're smiling way too much.
Do you? Because I know like some humans are like.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you trying to find the weirdest things to ask me in these podcasts?
I had a dream, and this dream has related to these questions.
This is not what Martin Luther King thought of when he said those
Imagine
words.
if he got up.
Have you ever wondered if animals have fetishes
about humans?
Wow, that whole thing would have gone totally different.
I think more people would have shown up.
No. No.
But
no, I don't think
so. But we have fetishes about aliens.
Except there's only aliens?
Yeah.
Sorry. Had to go back to that.
There's so many people that are like, I want to bang an alien. In Mass Effect, you just talked about your favorite romantic partner was Tally.
They make them humanoid.
But some people are into the tentacles.
Oh, Joe.
So
here's you wanted my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No, but there's an exception.
But okay, see, this is exception that I'm gonna point to my side being true.
Well,
say it. Say you're upset.
Dolphins.
That's exactly what I thought of. Exactly what I thought of.
But it's true though. Dolphins are weirdly horny for people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so.
I don't think it's a fetish.
Animals have fetishes about people.
I think that dolphins will just hump anything.
No, dolphins will rape you.
Yeah, you've said that.
The world has said that.
The world?
They've done it.
That's horrible.
They'll save you from sharks, but they will also use you and abuse you.
Horrible.
Can I also tell you why you're wrong and be extremely vulnerable to our listeners?
Me?
Why you're wrong and animals do fetishize about humans.
Okay.
When I was like 12 or 13.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
We lived on this farm in South Africa.
God. I don't know where you're going with
this. We
lived
lived on this farm in South Africa. And part of this farm was we had a little burn pit for our trash.
Yeah, we did.
And we would throw our trash in there and burn it.
We didn't have a trash service, so we had to get rid of it.
The same field that this burn pit was in, there was a bunch of horses, like 3 or 4 horses.
Yeah.
And little Joe thought, these horses are big. They're scary. I don't really want to be around them.
Yeah.
I have a job to do. No one's going to help me with this job. No one's going to help me get this trash into the burn pit.
It's also not that far away.
It felt like a mile.
Yeah.
With fear vision, It felt like but it was probably like maybe 30 steps.
Yeah. It wasn't far.
No. So I look around.
That's why you'd always have Boga with you.
Yes. After this experience.
Yeah.
Because I would look around, see no horses. I'm in the clear. This is my shot. I can make it and then come back. I take 5-10 steps into this field, and these 2 horses come charging at me with their flippy, dippy ding-dongs waving in the air like they're excited. They are excited. And if anyone has seen a horse excited, it's huge. And they were going to take me. They wanted me.
I don't think so.
They were like neighing almost. And
are we talking about the horses that were constantly making themselves high?
No, we had 2 horses that were cancer horses.
They were on our farm just
to die,
basically to die,
to have a nice spot to die,
to eat grass and die,
yeah,
and get high all the time.
These were man-loving horses that wanted little Joe.
Did you think maybe because were they the horses that the riders sometimes would use?
No, I don't know. They were evil horses that wanted me.
They probably just thought you had food, man.
And got horny?
I mean, a lot of times they just have it hanging out.
No, wrong. Wrong.
What, did you look it up?
No, but we lived on I'm telling you, I did not see horses dangling often unless they were excited about something. Mm-hmm. And they were after me.
Is this why you're afraid of horses?
Yes.
Not because they're giant animals that could crush you?
No, because they're horny for humans.
No.
Yes.
No.
Animals have fetishes about people.
They don't.
I am convinced. Think about that next time you let your dog lick your face. Just saying. Just saying.
I disagree with you.
You can. The people will agree with me if they're smart.
So your tally, by the way, of people who agree with you, very low. It's very low.
But here's the thing.
It's probably 2%.
Here's the thing. I've said it, and I don't want to say this about our audience. Sheeple. They're just not opening up their minds. I think when people weren't convinced about my moon theory, it really showed me what line they're on.
I mean, everybody like coming to contact you is like, the moon.
It's true. It's real. If you would like to talk about it with me, I'm open. And you know the great thing about the moon?
What's that?
To our knowledge, no horny animals on the moon that have fetishes about people.
Interesting. That's riveting things that you...
I'm just saying.
I'm really enjoying the fact that this has been taking up headspace for the last 3 days. And so if you like, anytime you pass a dog, you're just like, stop looking at me like that.
Dogs, cats. See, the little animals are okay because I can kick them away.
Right.
But it's the big animals that I'm powerless. I can't run right now because of my knee.
You really can't.
So a horse could have their way with me if they really wanted to. Mm. And that is something I'm not thrilled about, that idea.
And no, I wouldn't be either if it was true. It's not. Only dolphins.
I also won't go into this here because I think this could upset people. But you know, you and a few of our friends know my theory on why girls like horses.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to say that and I think they'll get it.
Yeah.
But that's...
Yeah.
No.
It's the only reason.
It's not.
Actually, I will say this. If guys like horses, it's for the same reason. But we can just... we don't have to get into that exactly.
We won't get into that.
Unless you want us to.
Joe.
Then we will.
Crazy.
We can.
Crazy, man. Unbelievable.
I'm just saying, you know.
Unbelievable, the things you think of.
Your face is telling me you would like to move on.
I'm just smiling at you.
We can move on.
Okay.
What?
Sorry, I'm just the idea of you thinking about this for a few days.
I'm telling you, you're going to start to think about it, and day 2 or 3, you're going to be like, maybe Joe was right.
I won't.
Maybe Joe had a point.
Do I think animals feel love? Yes. I don't think that they actually...
Fetishes for people?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying, you have a pet dog. Next time you look at it, you'll say, if the power dynamic was different, what would change here?
Oh my Lord.
We have to right a wrong.
We do.
We have to right this wrong.
What wrong?
We started a tournament and paused it day 2 of said tournament.
Joe, our podcast will go on infinitely, hopefully.
Yeah, but this is not going to be an infinite tournament.
No.
This is supposed to be a 5-week tournament.
Don't get upset just because some people got upset.
I'm just saying, we need to right the wrong, and we need to do day 2 of said tournament.
All right, which is gaming quotes.
Top 5.
Are you keeping a tally? Are you writing these
quotes
down?
Yes.
So you got
so far
the 2 that
the
are
thing
through.
that has moved. Only one has moved through.
Oh.
And then the other one will be in
the final running.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I got confused with this last time, and I'm still confused apparently.
The one that has moved through to the finale is Praise the Sun.
Yeah, it's a great one. Praise the Sun.
And then Would You Kindly will be in the last round before the finale and that we choose. This is week 2.
Week 2. How many are we doing?
5 weeks. I just said it. I just said 5 weeks
Did you?
of it. Yes.
Oh.
I just said it, man.
Listen, there's a lot happening for the first time here. My wife is playing a skate game. I'm pretty excited about this.
She's actually just creating a character. That's all she's doing.
This is the most important part.
The most important part is our jingle.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Our blind ranking jingle.
Are you going to do it with me?
No, it's your thing, and then I join in at the end.
All right. Blind ranking.
Okay. This is week 2. Shall I remind you
5
how
times?
a blind yes.
Right.
How a blind ranking works?
No, I already know.
Okay.
But if you want to do it for the people, sure.
For the peeps, this is how a blind ranking works. I have 5 answers here. Justice does not get to see them all. We'll have to rate one by one, 1 through 5.
Yeah.
The first one in the blind ranking for week number 2.
Joe, can I ask before you go?
Yeah.
Is there any in here that you'll be mad if I put them low on the list?
Not
like
really.
Last time.
No.
Because you threw your favorite in the first round.
You chucked my favorite, I think, as number 5 on the list.
It's number 5.
And I wanted to stop this entire thing,
It's
actually.
a saying. It's a saying, not a quote.
It's a quote.
It's a saying.
Just because it has more than 3 words
It's practically a speech.
I hate you. First one. Get over here.
Ooh, get over here. Oh,
What game is that from?
That's from Mortal Kombat, Joe. That's Scorpion.
Scorps.
Oh, man. Very, very, like, iconic, right?
Super iconic.
It's an iconic one. Mm-hmm. And it's been around for so long.
I don't even know when the first Mortal Kombat
The 1990s.
God, we're old.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we didn't play those games back then.
No, but we were both born in the 1990s.
Yes, we were.
And that makes me feel old.
Yeah, we are.
Remember, also, about this tournament, after you hear all of them, you can send one to the...
Yes.
Yeah.
This might shock you. I'm going to put this at 5.
That does not shock me.
Because it's not... It's iconic,
It's iconic.
But it doesn't bring me any kind of, like,
joy,
sentimental value.
happiness.
Like, it's just like... It's cool when Scorpion says it, but if I say get over here, it just kind of sounds...
Stupid.
Or...
Sexual.
Interesting.
Imagine your dog saying, get over here.
Yeah, no, I won't. I won't imagine that.
All right, so get over here, number 5.
Number 5.
Next one. I'm going to try to put on my best tough guy, cool guy.
Oh, right.
Okay. It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum.
Duke Nukem. Oh, man.
That's a great quote.
Do you want to know what's funny? I actually was thinking this entire time when you were saying that, when you put your tough guy act on, I thought you were going to say, "Oh, my tomatoes."
That would have been fantastic.
Also a great quote.
Yeah.
But not as iconic as, I guess.
I would say it's...
This is number 4.
Yeah.
I don't have any kind of...
We've never got into Duke Nukem.
And you shouldn't. It's stupid.
The old ones were good. I mean, it was just a Doom.
It was a Doom clone.
Yeah. Well, was Doom a Duke? What came first, Doom or Duke?
Doom.
Okay. I just really like, for some reason, the bubble gum. Bubble gum. It's
My
fun
favorite
to say.
Duke Nukem
Bubble
quote
gum.
is "Balls of steel."
I don't know.
Says that a lot.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna say it. This made me happy when I forgot about this quote I looked
How are
them up.
you finding these? Are you just looking them up?
I'm looking at a top 500 video game quote list.
500
for
and you're
ones
trying
that
to
I can't.
narrow it down?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Who needs
Incredible.
500? We only need 5.
Yeah, well, technically it's going to be 5, 10,
It's just going to be 5. It's just at the end. It's going to be 5.
Yeah, but you're going to tell me 25.
All these other ones don't matter. It's just going to be 5.
I'm rating them right now. They matter. What are you talking about?
Okay, ready for the third?
I
So far we got Get Over Here 5, The Duke Nukem 4.
The Duke Nukem?
The Duke Nukem.
I'm feeling
really Duke Nukem me. The next one. Nothing is more badass than treating a woman with respect. Can you name this one? Is this
I have no idea what this one's from.
Mr. Torg from Borderlands?
I'm
Such a good character.
I'm actually getting back into the Borderlands games.
Great
right
time
now.
because the movie that just came out is going to be a flopping success.
I've heard it's terrible. I've heard it's really bad.
Not a very
man,
noticeable quote, but it's so funny.
That's a really
it's so
funny
good.
one. If you guys, so people probably don't know, Mr. Torg is like this crazy, like juiced up muscle man.
Oh yeah, like
so.
But you'd think he's the stereotypical like macho, like kind of like a Tate of video games. You know. Yeah. But instead he's all like, respect women.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
You already aren't paying attention to me. You're paying attention to the screen.
I
knew this was going to happen.
I'm enjoying this.
Pay attention to the podcast for at least 20 more minutes.
I think this is 2.
Wow, okay.
I will pay attention.
I don't know. I don't know if you have it in you to pay attention to both.
It's a big
You're going to have
moment.
to look this way.
I'm doing
Stop looking at the screen.
I'm adjusting. Sorry for the noise. I'm adjusting myself.
The next one.
Okay. The number 2, Mr. Torg.
Number 2 is Mr. Torg. Jason!
For those of you guys who don't know,
Jason!
It's so stupid. So,
Jason!
there is this game called Heavy Rain, and there was a glitch on launch that you could like just constantly say the kid's name,
which is Jason,
and then there's another point in the game, it's actually Sean.
Yes.
Where he's screaming Sean.
But there's a glitch with Jason that at random points throughout the game that you're not supposed to say it. You would just hear someone go, Jason! Which has made it a very...
It's not a serious quote. That's number 3. But it's a great one.
So
is a name a quote?
Yes. When it's Jason!
Okay.
So this is going to go through to the finales, this next one. Which I think is... You're not paying attention to me again. I'm going to call it out every time.
No, stop it.
I feel like I'm a woman on a date and you will not give me the time of day.
I'm sorry.
I put on a nice dress. I put on some makeup. My hair's been done. I'm good to go. And here you are just looking at a waitress. I'm very upset with you.
I'm sorry.
Focus in.
I'm focused.
Number 1, and moving on to the finales. Do a barrel roll.
Perfect.
Right?
That's a perfect one. It's been there also from very early on in the gaming industry. Star Fox, by the way.
Star Fox. Now, you can... So, do a barrel roll, moving to the finales. What one of these quotes... Mr. Torgs. Perfect. We have week 2 in the books. So, in the finale so far, praise the sun and do a barrel roll.
Which are the simplest ones. So you got like this really deep one that you share with me. Stand in the ashes.
I hate it.
Stand in the ashes of trillions dead and
ask them if honor matters. Their silence will be your answer. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. It's all right.
That was it. That was all my notes.
Joe?
Yeah.
You're killing me with anticipation with this one. Because you had texted me this week and you had told me, I have some church questions.
Got some church questions
or
here.
Church discussions. I don't know if they're questions, if not more statements.
Do you think you can handle it with all your distractions tonight?
Yes, I can handle it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can.
Because even though you're
very happy about
even though you're talking to me, your eyes are darting. If this I would give you one more shot before I leave the table.
Okay.
And you never hear from me again.
All right.
And I'm
all right.
gorgeous. I'm a beautiful... You would be lucky to have me as a lady, Justice.
I'm gonna do my gosh darndest, Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, after all that,
Uh-huh.
do you want to get into a serious topic?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I like serious conversations.
Okay.
We've yet to really go into one of those.
For a long period of
Yeah,
time.
you've had serious statements.
I've had serious statements. I think, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how well this goes. Okay. I have been going to this new church, and I really like. It's really nice, cool people.
Yeah.
Young pastor. Going to it. This is the first real me going to a new church
Experience.
by myself. Experience. I'm really lucky that the fact that me and my best friend Bo have been doing it together.
Yeah, so you're not alone.
I'm not fully alone, but I didn't really know any of the people that went. I apparently knew the pastor,
Yeah.
but I have no real
We grew
memories.
up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was an idiot kid, and I can't remember a lot of stuff before
You really
Africa.
can't remember anything or before then.
But because I've been going to this new church, I've had this feeling out phase of what can I say? How should I act? You know, like how authentic do I be with who I am?
Right.
When I go here.
Yeah.
Which led me to thinking, do churches really want us to be authentic?
Ooh.
And it's hard. It can be really hard to be authentic in a church. It can be really easy to want to put on your best.
It's very
like that.
very
I think throughout time that happens. You know, like we want to either put on a suit. Both of us don't go to any churches that are like suit oriented, but like in Africa, you know, all these people are living day by day, but yet on a Sunday morning, they want to put on a suit. They want to look like they are millionaires.
Yeah, like they're doing great.
Yeah. And that's just not where we are. Like,
No,
that's not, I don't think that
real.
God cares about that.
It's not real. Now, let me ask you this. Do you feel like that church does that?
So, as I get to know more people, the people that I'm connecting to, I don't feel like they are.
Okay.
But I feel like they're having some of that with me.
Okay.
Like, you know, they don't always, they're trying to feel me out, just like I'm trying to feel them out. And I've made mistakes already. Like, I've said things that I'm like, ooh, that didn't land. You know, like, okay, maybe I don't do that.
Like a joke or something?
Like, one of my favorite things to say, everyone knows this, it comes out more than it should. I like cuck.
It's a bad word.
I like to say it.
It's a grade A swear word.
I thought it was an S, or was it A?
Grade A.
Okay.
We looked it up.
We looked it up because it was funny. I think it is nice on the lips. I think it is.
It's a terrible word.
It's got a good k, and those k's, they work really well
for
getting a point of cock. Across.
What'd you just say? Did you just say?
Across.
Did you say point of cock? Oh no.
But
well, I hope you didn't say that in church, man. Like,
and so, like,
oh my gosh.
I've gotten already. And I'm gonna be me. You know,
yes.
I'm gonna.
But
I also want to respect people.
Absolutely.
And I'm not gonna try to make them uncomfortable to make them uncomfortable.
There's a scripture that says, "Don't go out and just try to offend people."
Yes.
So it's not the goal.
Yeah.
Like, you could, any of us could be very polarizing.
Yes.
We could definitely offend people if we wanted to.
Yeah, and I think people do that on purpose. Like, they want to do that. That's not real. I don't care. Like, for as much as that might surprise people, I don't want to just be like, I'm going to say this because I know it's going to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it really made me think of, like, why do you think as humans in the church that we want to put on this face?
Shame.
Is it just shame? Do you really think?
I think a lot of it stems from shame. I think, especially because I know exactly what you're talking about with this whole situation. Because I think like I've had conversations with guys like about it, guys and girls, and just like it is very hard to be vulnerable.
Yes.
It's very hard, and to a degree, that's the church's fault.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I mean, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Like the church, not as like a whole, but there's been instances where, new people will come in and they're just being real and raw. They might not have come from a church background. They might not have come from a place where everything was pretty and nice and put with a bow. And that's the people that the church is for.
Yeah.
It's for the people who are broken, looking for answers.
Yeah.
And for their life. But I think you got the conflict then of people who sometimes have gotten it together and have like changed a lot. And it was like, hey, I don't struggle with swearing. I don't struggle with like these kinds of stuff anymore. Like I used to don't drink or all this stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be hard then to remember where you began.
Yes.
And the longer I feel life goes, the harder that can get. Now, I think it's really important to always remember. Growing up, full disclosure, I was one of those people that would look at you differently depending on how you acted.
Yeah.
I can own up to that. That was wrong of me.
Yeah. You used to be so black and white.
About any situation.
Yeah.
About any situation. And I had to have an encounter with God. Him showing me how his heart works for me to realize that's not true.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works. Like you have to be able to love somebody through their mess. Not just when they're doing great.
Yeah.
Not just when they say the right things. Even when they said something stupid or they did all this. You have to be able to love them through that. Otherwise, you're not going to reach anybody. Like you'll reach somebody, but it's going to be a very specific somebody.
Yes.
But
those are the people that it feels like fill the churches now. Not that, it's the people. Oh, never mind. Continue.
I think too, like we got to remember when we do come into the church and we do give our lives to Jesus, he asks us to sacrifice certain stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can't follow Jesus and do drugs on the side. Like you can believe.
You can struggle. And if you're going through a struggle. And
yes. So what I meant to say is you can't do that and think it's okay.
Yes.
You can't do that and think it's okay.
You can, but are you following?
You're not.
You're not.
You might
following.
believe, but
you're
not,
a believer,
not
but are you following?
You're not following.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the full blessing of what God offers you if you don't want to give up something. Like we've talked about it in our life growing up that it's sacrifice. Like you have to surrender yourself. Like you can't just be the same person you were.
Yeah.
Like you can be you because that's who God loves. He loves you and your uniqueness. But how do you change that to be honoring of who he is?
Yeah. Because if you don't, can you follow? Like if you're not changing anything for him, you're not following him.
Yeah.
You're just living your same life and being like, JC, I love that guy.
What I love about The Chosen is it shows the realness of the disciples who didn't have it all together and didn't have it all figured out and did things wrong and made mistakes.
Yeah, because that's who we are.
That's who we are.
If you think, which, as a kid I thought this, it wasn't until you get older that if you really want to follow God and follow Jesus, like your life's going to suck. It's going to be amazing.
In some aspects.
But it doesn't get easier.
No.
It just gets harder. But you have a peace.
Yes.
At least I do.
Yes.
Like my life with my leg and other stuff is just like, it's been really hard. And we've had a lot of other really hard moments.
Yes.
But there's this weird peace that I've always had that when I've talked to other people, and even other people that are believers, don't have.
No.
And that's because I feel like, I've been to that secret place with God. And even though my life isn't perfect, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say things that offend people in a not good way, like where my heart isn't in the right place.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be able to go back to God in that secret place and love on him, or have him,
both.
be there for me. Like, that gives you a peace, man.
It does.
So,
It
but
does.
I'm not, you don't have to be perfect to do that.
You don't. And I would love to see churches understand that there is a phase of learning, and you have to be able to give grace in that phase.
Yeah.
Like, if you see behavior that is bad, right? You have to bring correction, especially as a leader. Like, you have to bring correction about how you do that and how you're approaching it in love. That's super important.
Yeah.
And because you don't want to lose that person's heart, because God loves them. He does. Like, that's his biggest thing, is he wants to be able to, like, meet that person again who was lost.
Yes.
But it is hard. Like, I remember when we first got into the church that we are in, and it is weird because also we came from a church where we grew up there.
Yeah.
We
were never the new people.
Yeah, we formed it.
Yeah.
People were coming in to meet us. I mean, for instance, like, it was totally fine, even if not a little awkward. One of our main pastors, we'd call him Sexy all the time.
He still is the sexiest pastor that's ever lived.
Incredibly sexy. Oh my gosh.
God,
tall,
Pastor
dark.
Mark. Oh my God, and so god dang sexy.
Very, very sexy. And at first, like, he was just like, he didn't know what to do, but man, like, I think it endeared him to us.
Yes.
Even more. Like,
yeah. Just
easily. Because we treated him like
he was a big brother to us.
Yeah.
You know, he was quite a bit older. Not like he was an old man.
No.
But he filled a role that we had lost with distance.
Yeah.
Because our older siblings stayed here. And he was one of those people that really showed that he cares for us. And so then when we cared for him too.
Yeah.
And we're silly, goofy people.
Yes. And just the last thing on that, that whole feeling like you're almost hiding, right? I do want to say that's, like I was saying, it's a lot of guilt and shame. A lot of times when we're going into some place that we feel is good, we are confronted with what we are lacking.
Yes.
And I think then, more so than anything else, we put that on us. So people might not even notice, but we notice. You're like, even like when you said that word, you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't appropriate for right now. They don't know me like that. So they don't know that I'm not like a mean person who just uses this to just be crude.
Yeah.
Like, there is something to say about, like, building that relationship with people first. But I also think that conviction is not necessarily bad. It is bad when you feel like people are shaming you.
So here's the thing, because I feel like we've went to one extreme with this. With, like, new people going into the church.
Right.
And, trying to figure things out that way.
Right.
There's a whole nother subsection to this where there's people that have been at a church
for a long time.
For a long time and are a different person than they are outside of church. A lot of those same things go into the same thing.
Do you think hiding is habitual?
I don't know what a habitual means. If I'm being honest.
Hiding can become a habit.
Yeah.
And if you start out that way without being able to surrender, sometimes you stay that way.
Do you think when you're hiding from others, you can still have a true encounter with God? Are you too focused on trying to put on an act that you can't see it?
If you're so worried about, so here's a scripture I love. I don't have my Bible with me right now, but I can't tell you the exact scripture.
I believe you. I trust you.
Okay. But there's a scripture, I believe it kind of goes through it in all the Gospels. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And I'm going to paraphrase, but it says, if you can't acknowledge me before man, I can't acknowledge you before the Father.
Yeah. Dude, that is rough for me.
Oh, dude,
because
it ruined me when this ruined me recently because I was on a work job and I was in this house, an immaculate house, around like the people I worked with, they were believers, luckily, but there was a ton of people there that day.
Yeah.
And I was listening to like the audio version of the Bible and also listening to worship music. And whenever somebody would enter the room, I'd turn it off. And literally as that was happening that day, that's when that scripture popped up on the thing.
That's brutal.
And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, it's so small because we're always worried like people are just going to think I'm a weird Christian. Like just thinking that I'm a weird Christian, which
they're not going to want to be around me. They're going to have all these preconceived ideas about me.
Who I am. Just because
they heard that I'm a Christian.
Yeah. Which is so sad.
Yes.
That's where we are.
There's a lot of messed up Christians that have given us
there's just
Christians
a lot of
bad
messed
name.
up people.
Yes.
But Christians included. Like there's just messed up people who have more growing to do.
Yeah.
Like I think it's really powerful that in that God tells us to constantly be able to forgive those people. But
how do you forgive can you forgive yourself though?
You can.
Because that's like in those scenarios, I'm not upset with people. I'm upset with myself.
It is the hardest thing to do is to forgive yourself. Yeah. It is way harder to forgive yourself than to forgive somebody.
Yeah.
Because you should have known better. You should have done this. You should have done that. Like me personally, that's been a huge battle for me.
Yeah.
Like I can forgive people like that over things that they've done. It didn't used to be that way, but I've grown in that. But I can't have a hard time forgiving myself.
Yeah.
And that will probably persist, but I'm still working on it. I still like have that in the back of my head. It's like, I need to let this go.
Yeah.
I need to move on. But man, like I was talking with my work partner today and we were having a conversation just about just the power of scripture and some of the things that people don't even know. And that is just so like, that's a really powerful statement.
Yeah.
Even so we were talking about Exodus and how because
that's a book in the Bible, people.
Yeah, Genesis, Exodus. Genesis, Exodus. So in Exodus, I don't know if you know this. You probably do.
Probably not.
But I might be getting this wrong just a little bit, but at the very beginning of when the Israelites went into the desert, they sent out, I believe, 8 or 10 kind of scouts to scout the land, to see if it was ready to the promised land.
Yeah,
to see
if there was any threats, if there was any.
So when the scouts went out there, they found it was overflowing with milk and honey. Like the fields were plentiful. Like the land was ripe for like farms and things like that. It was beautiful. There was oases of water.
Yes.
But there were giants.
Yeah.
And
lots of them.
Lots of giants. So all but 2 of the scouts gave a report of, yes, it's overflowing.
Did they say we can't do this?
It's overflowing with milk and honey, but we cannot overcome the giants. It says we are like grasshoppers to them. And there was only 2 guys who were willing to say, basically,
honey.
We can take him.
Yeah.
Like with God, we can take him. And this is the craziest thing. Those 2 guys, Caleb and Joshua, were the only 2 from the older generation of the people who went out into the wilderness to make it to the promised land.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Even Moses didn't make it.
Yeah, he had to
stay behind because he was
or whatever
40. And he had to stay behind because he made the final decision about to not take the land. So it pays to be bold.
Yeah.
Like if you're new going into a church and you love God, be bold. Even when meeting people. Yeah. Like I can't tell you how many times my love for God has covered a multitude of like imperfections in me.
Yeah. Well, and other people. Like, you're not going to like everyone at a place you go to because we're all different.
People will never acknowledge it, but I have a really good reputation. And
people won't acknowledge that.
So they acknowledge that I have a really good reputation. They think I'm a really nice person in my the workplace.
Yeah.
I accredit that to God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
100%. I wouldn't be the person I am without him.
I will say this. I credit that to God and Pastor Dallas. Pastor Dallas teaching us how to work.
Well, yeah, we have a very strong work ethic, but it's absolutely, man.
Another time.
Okay.
Another time.
Okay.
He made us, another time.
I was literally seeing the fountain in my eyes.
Another time.
But that's a good question, man.
Well, because that's the thing is like...
Does what we just talked about, does that help you at all?
I mean, I think so. And I think it's a good reminder for people, including myself, that it's like because I think the problem is, especially after COVID and so many things, it's like people, I don't need the church. I don't need the church. I can follow God without the church. You can't. You can't. Here's what happens when anyone says that. 3 or 4 months later, they're no longer a believer.
Yep.
Because the church is messy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of problems with it.
That's family.
Because people are in there.
Yeah, and it's family.
But we have to come together for a bigger purpose than ourselves.
It's the biggest reason and the biggest supporter of church. It's like you have to be able to sacrifice. When you think about it, even just that little bit, like it shouldn't be the way like we're only doing church on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We should be living that out every day.
Yes.
But for a lot of people, it is just Sundays.
Yeah. And I've had people, and I wish I would have been a little wiser, that have talked so heavily about community and how important community is, but hate the church. Yeah. And you can't have that.
No.
If you actually care about community, you're going to care about your church.
Yeah. You're going to love your church.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of work. A lot of work.
I had a lot more questions than that.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, I think this can go faster because I think it's a little smaller question. Do you think the show is necessary?
Are you saying like
the show in churches?
Like the worship show, the speaking event.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. I've always been very anti-show. I think part of that was because I was on a worship team and I always wanted to play with a smoke machine and I never got to play with a smoke machine. And so I was always angry at the show.
Get a stinking smoke machine.
But I think if you have all show and no Jesus, no God, no substance, you're watching a movie. I think you need the show. I think having a show, you need the show to get people in.
Yeah.
And then once they're in, that's what the word's for.
Smack them over the head with the reality.
Yeah.
The truth.
That's what I think. But I know that's not a very, I don't think a lot of people think that way.
I think...
This was the one that I thought would go a little faster, maybe not.
I think the show exists where the Spirit's lacking.
Okay. See, that's what I used to think.
Now, I want to be clear. I think people's giftings can seem showy. But I do believe they're using them for God. And you can tell. You can tell when someone is using a gifting that they have, whether it be singing, playing an instrument, and they're using it to glorify God, versus they're using it just because they can.
Agreed. Kind of. I actually don't really fully agree.
Okay.
Because, I agree with the gifting aspect of it.
Okay.
I think the show can be present with the Spirit present.
100%. But have you been to a very showy church?
Yeah, yes. No, and I'm not trying to say a lot of those online
But here's
money
on the flip
churches.
side.
Yeah.
I also feel like when you get a hyper religious church and it's just beating you over the head with you're going to hell and all this stuff, I think those exist because of the lack of the Spirit too.
Yes.
I think both extremes do.
Yeah.
So because the Spirit's what guides us. Without it, we flounder fast. And I mean, the word without Spirit is nothing. It's void. Like,
yes. Here's the thing. There's a lot of people that say, like, if you're a preacher and you are trying to be funny, if you're trying to
That's
stay
showing.
under 30 minutes, you're trying to put on a show. And that's where I disagree. I think sometimes you need the shorter messages. You need the comedic values.
I wouldn't have said those are showy.
Okay.
I at least in my mind, I would have gone to, it's the gifting of the individual. Because you've seen people who
But you can use your gift for a show, like, and
can.
put on a show.
You can. Or you can use it to make it a point, an emphasis. Yeah. Like, our dad, for one, is like, humor helps engage people.
100%.
So if you're going to say something that's powerful and impactful, humor can be a huge tool.
Yeah.
And it helps loosen people up.
Music is the biggest tool.
It is. Music is super powerful. And even in spite, like, I've been to services where the music was beautiful, but I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't, it on the flip side, I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Okay,
like,
so
it sounds great, but it doesn't feel right.
Here's where I will maybe say something that is a little cocky and a little full of ourselves.
Okay.
We are seasoned Christians, which is I mean, we're not like super, we're both in our late 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
We are seasoned. We've been Christians our whole life.
Whole life.
I'm saying I think the show is needed to bring people in. And then, if once they can feel something.
Do you want me to tell you what I actually think?
I would love. I mean, I would hope you're not lying to me on.
No. Because I think that you make a really good point. I think you make a really good point. I don't think that that's what it was intended to be. I think because of where we are in society, churches evolved to be that way.
Oh yeah.
And do I think that it's in a way necessary? Yes. With how our generations are and how our attention spans are terrible, we're just constantly wanting that dopamine hit of constant, something happening. Having worked with the youth group, like, I can attest that holding attention is one of the hardest things.
Yeah,
I've
we've
ever had
both
to do.
been youth leaders.
Yeah, I just think back, bro. I think back to some of the nights where we just put on music and had some of the most powerful encounters. And, like, there was no show.
Yes.
Because it was just background. Or even slightly more awkward, but no music.
Yeah.
And still have those moments. And that's why I'm saying it's like, I think churches rely on the show too much.
Yes.
When
I agree.
When there's no move of the Spirit.
Agreed.
Because how do you hold on to people if you don't have the Spirit?
I agree 100%. Except, and not even except, my caveat. Thank you. Is I feel like that goes to my point.
That you need the show.
You need the show to get them in, and then the Spirit takes over. If you're in a healthy church.
That's what I would say. It would be.
The problem is there's a lot of unhealthy shows.
I think
there's a lot of shows with no
there
Spirit.
wouldn't have to be a show.
Same. I just think I'm looking at a more real, where we are at currently.
Realistic, kind of just where we are in society. Yeah, I can concede to that. I can concede that it's.
I would say even in Jesus' time, I bet there was people that said he's putting on a show.
Probably. There's people who probably thought this guy's being a little extreme for no reason.
And that goes to your point. It's not always a show when it can be like a gifting. Mm-hmm. It like can be the different. If you're moving in the spirit,
people are attracted to the spirit.
Yeah,
they are,
and they're also attracted to the show. But it's so much more shallow. If the show starts to go bad,
they leave.
They leave. If they've had an encounter with God, they can say, "That wasn't very good. What's up with my spirit right now?"
Yeah,
like
I'm here to work this through. You can use discernment at that point. Yeah, I like that. I think we're all growing, man.
We're all growing. And none of us are there.
No.
We're all not there.
And that's something to remember, too. Like, is you're listening to us two crazy kooks who literally have talked about all kinds of things since now. It's like, just know that, like, we're there, too. Like, we're still figuring it out. We're not perfect. And we never will be.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm a god among men.
That's true.
So,
in your mind.
The last thing, I'm going to pull justice before we go.
Okay.
Any shows? What are you watching, playing this week?
I got back into Borderlands, man.
Which one?
I'm playing 3, but I'm tentatively wondering if I can get Kirsten to play the first one with me.
Just go to 2. Why would you play the first one?
Because
2's better in every way.
I know, but I think 1's simpler.
I don't think you can get Kirsten to play 1 for very long. I think if you had a shot at any, it would be 2.
Okay. You might be right.
Borderlands 2 is also the best in the series.
It is the best in the series, for sure.
Any shows you're watching?
Attack on Titan.
You haven't finished it yet?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we only can watch maybe 2 episodes a night, maybe 3.
Having a baby sucks. And both of you working very early shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to go to sleep at some point.
That's lame. I will say this, and I have gotten really into a show. Re-into
a show.
Because we watched about 4 episodes and then stopped. I have gotten into The Punisher with John Bernthal. It is amazing.
Did you finish it?
I have 2 episodes of the first season left. I'm watching that tonight.
It's amazing that we didn't finish it because
I don't understand why. I have such a good time watching this show. I feel so cool watching this show.
Do you?
I'm like, yeah, I'm the Punisher. I'm
the Punisher.
It's awesome. I love it. I cannot wait for the season 2 as well is already out. I'm gonna watch that, and then with Daredevil coming out, I'm very excited.
Me and Kirsten may rewatch Daredevil because it's great.
I would be down for that too.
All right, you just want inviting yourself to come over?
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I can't remember so many things that happened.
Can we acknowledge how good she's gotten from the beginning to the end? She's popping tricks and kick flips over here.
Can I say something that's going to surprise you?
No.
I haven't been paying attention.
That's not true.
I've been looking, but I can't think of anything I've seen there other than the fact she has a blue sweatshirt on in the game.
Yeah. No, I'm watching. I'm like, my wife's getting.
You know what, Justice?
She's doing.
God, he's just gonna go off too. This is rough.
She's incredible.
This has been what's with the women. Women? What's? God, damn it!